welcome to another installment of my monthly budget. It is right about that time of the month where I need to start working on our budget for the upcoming month, or at least the first couple of weeks in the upcoming month. So I'll be working on a few things for February. We have a lot of bills, as most people do, but we have some bills that I literally just paid, like today, because today's Friday, so today's payday. So like the latter half of February, I won't be able to do budgeting for that because the bills don't get cut until, they won't be cut for a few more weeks, but I need to start setting up at least the first 2 weeks of February, because that is when the majority of our bills will be due, or actually due between the 1st and the 5th of every month. So we're kind of at that point where sometimes we have to pay some of the bills for 1 month, the first week of 1 month from the last paycheck of the previous month. So seeing as next Friday is the last paycheck for January, I'm probably gonna have to take some of that money to pay some of the February bills. So that's why I need to start setting up and figuring out the February stuff. Like I said, it is payday. I did go ahead and pay the bills this morning before I remembered that I'm supposed to be telling you guys about what's going on with that. We had due today, we had 2 credit card payments that were due today, which I've already paid online, no problem. I have 2 other payments that are automatic payments, technically 3. One of them gets billed to our debit card, and that probably won't go through until this afternoon, so I'm not super worried about that. So we have 2 other automatic payments. One which won't get processed until tomorrow, which is the 20th, but I've still debited that amount from our account, just because I know it's going to come out tomorrow. And another one won't be debited until the 25th, which I think is Thursday. But seeing as it technically comes out before the next paycheck, which is the 26th, I've already taken the liberty of just going ahead and debiting that from our balance. Just a quick recap: I no longer keep a checkbook register. I had such a hard time. I am slightly dyslexic, so sometimes I would have such a hard time with reversing some numbers, and just I could never keep an accurate balance with an actual checkbook register. So what I've been doing instead is I kind of keep track in my weekly expenses in my planner, and I estimate everything, and by estimate I round up on everything. so rounding up seems to be good. Before, when I was trying to keep a checkbook register, like every couple of months we'd have a boo and I'd accidentally bounce something, and then we'd have to pay a fee on it. But this way we've not had any problem. I've been doing this for years now, the not keeping an accurate balance and rounding up, and we haven't had any problems at all. So this is definitely working out much better for me. So for example, if we've spent $100.01 at the grocery store, I would say that I just spent $101. I round out no matter what. That seems to work out so much better for us. Anyway, so I've already mentioned I've paid the bills for today. Next Friday, the things that we have to pay are rent, and I've been setting aside some money out of every paycheck this month to cover our rent, so that shouldn't be an issue. And our internet bill is due next Friday. So other than that, there shouldn't be too many problems. I didn't whip out my calculator here. Let me see. Write down my account balance. Oh my goodness, my little bunny rabbit just hopped by. Hi, sweetie. She's very mad because I didn't let her out of her cage until I had already had my coffee and stuff this morning. Or my first cup of coffee anyway. I just didn't want to deal with, my back's been really irritating me. I didn't want to deal with chasing naughty bunny rabbit around this morning, so I delayed in letting her out, and she's not hesitating to let me know how she feels about that. Poor bunny rabbit. Okay. I'm sure my husband's gonna need at least 1 gasoline fill up this week too, which is okay. So boom, there we go. We're on track with the money that we need to set aside for rent. So, an update for you guys. I had talked about the propane bill, which was a bit dramatically unexpected anyway, just because it's been so cold here. We've needed to order another fill of propane about a month early, so we already weren't anticipating that. And then finding out that even though I was quoted at one price, they charged me another price when they delivered it, and whatever. So it's about $60 more than we were even planning. Irving, who's our propane company, does this thing where if you pay the invoice within 10 days, you save, like, I don't know, it's like 1% or something off the order. And I think even that fluctuates too, because I'm looking at an older bill where it says, which was $394, and it says if we pay within 10 days, you can deduct $14.82. And this time our bill is $405.84, and they say that we will only save $12.10 on this delivery. So I think even their discount fluctuates too. Like, our bill is more money this time, but we save less. But anyway, so talking to my husband last night, they were late getting us. We don't even have the bill technically for this fill up yet. I had to call to get the numbers over the phone. And knowing that you only have like 10 days to get that discount, and talking to my husband about it last night, you know what? We're just going to be stressing out and, not paying other stuff to just save a whole $12.10. It's not worth it. Why don't we just take the month that we're allotted to pay for this and not even worry about the $12.10 discount? So it's like, you know what? All right, you're right. So now I'm going to be budgeting, what day did they deliver? I think it was oh gosh, now I have to look it up. It was last Friday, whatever last Friday was. I think it was the 12th. Yeah, okay, so they just delivered on the 12th, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have until, like, this, I don't know, the 12th, which is, the last paycheck will be the 9th, in February to pay for it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 paychecks. So, okay, so if we can set aside about $100 a week for the next 4 weeks, then, which is doable. It'll make things tight, but it's doable. And then that's how we're just going to pay the electric, and we're not going to worry about the $12.10 savings. A little bit less stressful than trying to come up with a whole $400 like today, because that cuts into our rent money, and then it gets nasty. And then, of course, if you watched my coffee and chat video, I spent some money. Like the week before last, I shopped at Michael's and Hallmark Scrapbook, which were both very optional shopping trips, but I wasn't aware that, and it wasn't a ton of money, but I wasn't aware that that issue was going to happen with propane, because that would have gone towards that, and it would have made it easier. But what's done is done, whatever. I do have, by the way, another box from Michael's to open, and I'll do that in another video. I just happened to look over and see it over here. I'm not focused on that right now. I need to work on my budgeting. So, let's see. This is already the 19th, so the only other things that we do have to pay this month are the things that are automatically going to be debited that I've already mentioned. And again, I've already mentioned our internet bill isn't due until the 29th, so that'll get paid out of next paycheck. Unless I can squeeze it in this week, then I'll squeeze it in this week to make one last thing that we have to pay next week. But which I certainly don't mind doing. And then, of course, I'm gonna have to call Irving, and I'll pay $100 on our propane bill to whittle that down a bit. Okay, so moving on, we need to talk about February now, how we're going to pay some February bills. So I've got my planner here, and let's move on. I've got my rent, which is always due on the 1st. So I'll get that on the list. I have 2 credit card bills, which I know are due on the 1st of every month. And what I'm going to do is just, I'm going to quickly look and see how much I owe, how much is the minimum payment, and I like to check to see what the balance remaining is. I just like to verify that it's going down a little bit every month. And one of these bills, give me just one sec. I have to remember my passwords. One of the ones, it's Capital One. One of these bills is the one that I'm trying to whittle down on. But that one is going to take a little bit of a backseat because we had to dip into our savings, so I have to replace my savings first. So let's have a peek. Capital One. Yeah, it's gone down to like owing it like just a $19 minimum payment at this time, so I need to pay more than that. And the other one is a $107 minimum payment. Yikes. That's the one that I really need to whittle on. But that bill has gone down. Last month it was $3,400 and now it's $3,300. Not that much, still a lot. Okay, so the next bill that's due every month is the one, and if you're keeping up with my budgeting videos, then you already know about the saga about this one. My doctor, basically I pay a subscription fee to the doctor for being his patient, and that's $60 a month. When we signed up, we weren't prepared to sign up that day, so we didn't take a lot of stuff with us, so we ended up just putting it on my husband's credit card that he had with him. This is weird. So I need to pay off that credit card as well, but I don't understand what's going on. His balance appears to be unusual, and I don't know why. So I'm looking at the bill. Actually, I have the paper bill somewhere, I think. Excuse me for a moment while I grab the mail. I do recall seeing some stuff in here. Look at this for unboxing later. Hero Arts kit. Let's see, I got some letters today. Technically yesterday. There we go. Here's my husband's bill. And it's not reflecting that payment, so I don't know. Oh, yes it is. I don't know what is going on. It's so irritating when stuff isn't due right away. So they billed me once just a couple of days ago. Okay, I guess that's kind of right, because my husband did a little Christmas shopping on this card, and he wasn't supposed to. And then I was supposed to take the money in the account to make the payment, which is what I have to do today to make the payment. So I just wanted to make sure that everything is hunky-dory. Let's see. All right. So let me see. Oops. Oh yeah, what date is this due? 2/2. I'm writing stuff in the wrong category over here. Okay. So that looks okay. Let's see. Oh my god. Then the next thing that's due is our cell phone bill, which I already told you guys about last month. Has gone up for 2018 and has gone up another $10 a month. We are greatly looking forward to not having them anymore. This is, by the way, this is going to be a really long rambly video as I do this. I'm really sorry. I'm trying to be accountable to you guys. This is going to be due on the 2nd, and it is $186. At least it's no change from last month. Really frustrated with this company. Their service and everything is fine. We just really frustrated with just the bill keeps going up, and oops. Oh, hi, Percy. Kitty walking by. Percy is my daughter's black cat. Percival, named so for Percival Weasley. What I'm doing right now is I'm just checking, our phones are financed through US Cellular, which is why the bill appears so large. I'm just checking to make sure that they've credited our account properly from last month. And everything looks okay in terms of the balance going down on our phones. We don't have any, there's no interest or anything on our phones. Okay, so the next bill that happens every month, I need to pull that up, which is Dell. Never ever finance anything through Dell. They're evil. I'll be so happy to get this paid off. And this one is due on the 4th. And now we start to move on into other stuff. Right now I'm just getting down in my payment log the date that bills are due and how much and stuff, and then I'll actually take a look at the calendar and decide what can be paid out of what week. So this one is due on February 4th. And more stuff due. Gosh, wouldn't it be great to have somebody hand you like $10,000 and you're like, here, go start over again. Super. Uh-oh, I'm having a problem logging into this one. We're having a problem right now. Sorry for the inconvenience. So I'm going to note that in my book here, and I'll just go back and look. It was due around the 5th, so it's probably going to be due around February 5th. Sometimes, especially because February is a shorter month, they'll switch the due dates around a little bit, which is okay, but when you live paycheck to paycheck, it actually matters what that due date is, because you need to know what paycheck stuff comes out of. And it can be a little bit frustrating when you're trying to budget exactly. But I'll skip that one for now, and I'll go back to it. I'll check it out a little bit. Because I'm dealing with stuff that's not happening for a few more weeks. I suppose it's not an essential crisis that I know right now what's going on. This is usually due on the 10th. So this bill is, the next one that's due is this one here. We have one bill that for some reason, it's one of my husband's credit cards. For some reason, we can't log into the account from the house, from online. Something about a blocker or something that's happening on our computer will not let us open up this account. However, he can open it up very easily from the browser on his phone. So I still notate what day it is and stuff, but this is the one thing that's his responsibility for paying, and I'll just remind him on that day that he needs to pay it. Moving on, we know I just tried to look yesterday, then the next one is the electric. And then we have the car insurance, which is one of the ones that is automatically debited from our account. And then then I have the bills that were paid today. So they're not going to be cut until later on in the month. And then I don't know what we're going to owe for the propane in February because I haven't even started paying on it yet in January. So I'll just leave that blank. Okay. So I have gotten all of the bills that are available to me anyway. Notated on here. So now I'm just going to check one more time at this website that wouldn't let me log in. Oh, it looks like it's kind of working now. Maybe they just had a bit of a hiccup. Nobody wants to be awake this early, not even the bills. No, it says we're still having a problem. Okay. So that one is usually due like around the 5th-ish, so we'll just kind of guess, maybe? Okay. So let's look at the calendar for February. So we have, for paydays, we have the 2nd, the 9th, which is my sister's birthday. It reminds me I need to make her a card. The 16th and the 23rd. Okay. So let's see. And I'll do this scratch part slightly off camera because, again, my husband's not generally thrilled to share how much he makes. Speaking of my husband, we just signed him up this year for health insurance, and he's not had insurance in like forever. So it's been a really long time. We found him a primary care doctor yesterday, so he's going to have his first appointment sometime in late February. So it's hopefully that'll be good news. The poor man has like eczema on his leg that's been killing him, and he has bone spurs in his feet, and he really needs some help and some pain relief. Okay, so let's see, the 2nd and the 9th. So I need to pay between, nope, that's the wrong way. I'm looking at March. I need January. Okay, so between January 26th and February 2nd, I need everything. So it looks like we have rent, obviously, but that's being covered already. We will have to start pulling out in February, obviously, money to pay March rent. So we have the 2 Capital One bills basically due before then. So those are going to have to come out because those are due on the 1st, I'm sorry. Those are going to have to come out of this last paycheck in January. so let's see. I've already forgotten how much it is. $19. And I just need to double check and make sure that we can still exist that week. It'll be tight, but we can do it. And we're used to the first week of a new month being really tight anyway. Okay, so this is February, and I need a sticker because this one doesn't have a February sticker. I need a February sticker for my planner. I have all these loose sticker pages, and they're kind of annoying. I should get a folder or something for these. I don't see a February sticker. I'll worry about that. I'll worry about that later. I won't bother you guys about that. Okay, so I'm going to notate the payday on each part in February. So 2/9, 2/16, and 2/23 are the paydays. I'm super itchy today. This weather, just skin has been drying out like crazy. I haven't taken my shower yet today. I think I might scrub with a loofah today. Just trying to get off some dead skin. So we're gonna do those bills in the last paycheck here. So the first payday is the 2nd. So I need to basically pay everything from the 2nd to the 8th. So we have the PayPal, which we're actually going to pay more on because that's the one that we're trying to whittle down. Because that's the credit card that my husband put my doctor's appointment on in his Christmas shopping, so we need to make a payment on that. So we have that. We have the cell phone. Friggin' Dell. So that should be, I need to just do the math and make sure that we can survive, because if we can't, then I have to pull the money from one of the bills the week before. Because I can't check what that bill is, I'm going to have to look at the previous month. We can survive, but again, it'll be really tight. Okay, so let's translate everything into here. We can't, unfortunately, we're not one of those families that gets all excited about tax returns because we don't get much of a tax return, courtesy of paying our fines for not having health insurance for 2017. So a lot of people get really excited because they can, you know, make big chunks of payments on stuff. Good for you. I can't. Okay, so now we're getting into the part where I can't do too much about. I just know what 2 of the bills are for the week after that, which is the 10th. So the paycheck on the 9th, there's only 2 bills that I know of that need to be covered. And they're both due on the 10th. Okay, and that's pretty much all she can do because the rest of the bills aren't cut yet. I'm just going to make a quick tick mark in pencil on my master sheet here just to remind myself which ones have been notated already on the weekly. And that's pretty much all I can do so far for February, but at least I have a plan to get up until like the second paycheck covered in February, and I'll reassess this probably at the beginning of February when those other bills start getting cut. But this at least gets us through the heavy bill due, the heaviest part of the month where our bills are due. And like I said, I usually end up having to pay some of the following month with some of the last paycheck of the previous month. So that's why it's important for me to check a couple of weeks ahead of time just to make sure that I have a game plan to make this all happen, because otherwise we get screwed. Then you have, you know, more bills that are due. And one of the things that's like the absolute worst thing possible that I can think of for me is getting nailed with late fees. So, and then like if it's a credit card, they nail you with the late fees, and if your credit cards are already pretty close to being maxed out, then once they nail your account with that late fee, then it's exciting for them because then they can hit you with an over limit fee if your card is pretty close to being maxed out. I don't think we're in the super danger zone anymore. All of our balances have gone down a bit, so that's not a super huge thing, but you never know, you know, with all the fees or whatever, how close it's going to be. I really, 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 really don't want that. Anyway, so that's what I've got for, my goodness, I've got a kitty fight going on behind me. That's what I've got so far for my budgeting for February, and I'll whip this out for part 2 another time. I'm still looking around for a February sticker to put on my my page here to decorate. I appreciate you sticking with me. If you stuck through me, I hope that this encourages you to kind of take a really good hard look at what dates your bills are due, and what, especially if you live paycheck to paycheck, what you need to plan ahead of time that needs to come out of each paycheck so that you can avoid fees. One thing I should point out too is that if it's a credit card bill or something like that, and if it's really a struggle to get it paid that week, you can possibly call them and just explain the situation and ask if they can switch your due date around. I had to do that a couple of years ago to get our credit cards used to be due the week that our car payment was due, and we just couldn't do it, and they were nice enough to change it around for us, which was really nice. So definitely look into that. If you have any questions or whatever about how I do this, or if there's something that I can do to help you, I'm certainly not an expert, but again, we're living paycheck to paycheck. It's not always sunshine and roses, but we're still able to eat, keep the electric on. This winter in particular is just struggle to keep the heat on, so we'll see how that goes. But we're doing it. So if there's any kind of way that I can help you figure some stuff out, let me know, and I'm happy to try to help. You can always contact me privately via Facebook or Instagram, even, and my links for that will be down below. That is what I've got. It is Friday. I have a haul video to do after I finish up this, so I will see you again in a bit, and you take care. Bye-bye.